Well, Danish, thank you so much for that very spontaneous. Welcome. Appreciate that. It's good to be among these young people. It makes you feel young. Let me start off by a little message. It's not my own. I borrowed it from Emerson. The heart has its Sabbaths and Jubilees, in which the world appears as a hymeneal feast, and all natural sounds in the circle of seasons are erotic odes and dances. Love is omnipresent in nature, as motive as reward. Love is our highest word, the synonym of God. So my dear students, I keep saying fellow students. I guess I never graduated mentally, at least. I'm still thinking of myself as a student, but anyways. It is so good to be here on a topic that is of vital importance to me on a very selfish level, and of so much importance for so many, over 1.5 billion people who tend to call themselves Indians or Pakistanis. I stand here today purportedly representing the Pakistani side of the equation. I don't know if I can call myself a Pakistani. See, my parents were Indians. I spent some part of my life in Pakistan. I was born in Pakistan. I guess that could be the criminal evidence against me. But I have lived more than half of my life in US. So am I an Indian by heritage? Am I a Pakistani by birth? Or am I an American by adoption? But see, those labels don't mean a thing to me. I take pride in myself as being a human. And I think once we grow, and I don't mean grow in your years or your age, but as you really grow, you transcend these labels and these identities, whether they are based on national or geographical borders, or they are based on religion or whatever. And unfortunately, as the human society is evolving, part of the society is moving towards that enlightenment. And just as fast as that part of the society is moving towards that enlightened existence, I would call it, the rest of the society is being dragged back into the 16th or the 17th or the 15th century. And somehow, these nationalistic and religious identities, unfortunately, are becoming more and more important, for lack of a better word. And nothing could really be further from the truth. You see, India and Pakistan are part of the same subcontinent. But what is really distinct about these two countries is they are two of the only 3 countries in the world that identify themselves on the basis of a religion. I am a huge fan of India. I'm a big cheerleader of India. I love almost everything Indian, whether it's idli or dosa or Indian movies or Bollywood songs. I love them all. A lot of my good friends are Indians. My business partners are Indians. I do a lot of business with Indian businessmen, and I love them all. We all love cricket. We all love good food and desi food and all that. But then, the biggest thing about India that I loved, which I used to love, is that a country of over 1 billion people with a diversity of languages and a diversity of religions came together as a nation. And that is the definition of a nation. Pakistan, on the other hand, was made in the name of a religion, which, if you look at history, and I'm sure you guys, a lot of you are history majors, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pakistan is the only country that has ever been made in the name of a religion. And religion is a very weak bond when it comes to holding a country together. Try to understand that. Countries are formed on the basis of geography, nationalism, ethnicity. Those are stronger bonds than religion. If religion was a good bond for a country, pretty much all of Europe should have been one country. Pretty much all of Middle East should have been one country. It doesn't work that way. And that is why I've always been, in my heart, a little anxious about the viability of the concept of Pakistan, how this country that was made in the name of a religion is going to stay together in the long run. It has survived 60 years. Hopefully they will gel together, find their identity as a nation, and come together and work and move on, and things will be great. I pray to God that happens. But see, India was different. India, from day one, had the luck, I would say, of having the leaders like Nehru and Gandhi who rose above the religion, and they rose above what I would call the lower echelons of human intelligentsia development, and they moved to the higher plane and the higher ground, and they created Indian nationalism. But the things that are happening in India lately, they give me cause for concern. More and more what I see happening in India, unfortunately, and I'm not an expert in Indian politics by any means, or Indian happenings going on, but what I see a little bit of it as in the media and everything. India is also moving towards becoming more of a, I hate saying this, more of a Hinduistic country. And see, that is, I think, in my opinion, not the right track.
To save Hinduism.
Excuse me?
To save Hinduism against Islam.
That's a very valid point. That's a very valid point. But sir, what I profess to you, or I submit to you, is the following. We as humans have to rise above the identity of God. To me, what Gandhi said was the greatest thing anybody could say about this. The God has no religion. See, that's Mahatma Gandhi. My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness. That's not my words. That's Dalai Lama. That is the truth. Now see, I used to call my late mother Ammi. You probably call your mother Amma. Somebody might call her Masi, somebody might call her Bua, somebody might call her whatever. Would I pick a fight with you, or would you pick a fight with me because I call my mother any different than you do? No, it doesn't matter. So why would I pick a fight with somebody because I call my God Bhagwan and he calls his God something else? It makes absolutely no sense to me. God is God. This guy, he had it right. John Lennon said, I believe in God, not as an old man in the sky. I believe God is what lives inside all of us. I believe that what Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha and all the rest said was right. It's just that the translations went slightly wrong. So my message, guys, is not who's right or who's wrong. We are all right. George Carlin, he said, religion is like a pair of shoes. Get the one that fits you. But please, don't try to put your shoes on somebody else's feet. And, you know, he's a comedian. But think how much wisdom is there in that. Okay? I mean, what is the purpose of religion? The purpose of religion is to make your life better. That's it, right? There's a God, he's a creator, whatever, and religion is supposed to make us better, it's supposed to make us more human, it is supposed to improve us, give us blessings and everything. But what have we done with the religion? I submit to you the contrarian view, which is Voltaire. Those who can force you to commit, those who can force you to believe in absurdities can force you into committing atrocities. Think about that, folks. That's Voltaire. But having said all that, I still feel that we are all the same. We all want to be together. The vast masses in whether it's India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, it doesn't matter. We are all cut from the same cloth. We want to be happy together. But why are we not? I think it is nothing more than the egos of some people on both sides, or on three sides, or on all sides. Absolutely. I'll be the first one here to sit and acknowledge the mistakes that have been made from the so-called my side of the border. And there is mistakes on the other side too. But folks, like all these politicians say, we have more in common than we are different. Absolutely. But why not focus on what we have in common? My father was from the United Provinces, from a small city called Badam. I went and visited that town when I was a kid. I met with his teachers. I met with his old friends. I met with the people where he used to buy food and groceries and everything. And you know, the only thing that I found in those people was love. That's what I found. It was totally independent of where he lived now, what he called himself, what he was. It didn't matter. People are all the same. It doesn't really matter. It is unfortunate that we have started harboring those feelings. But as humans, we are much bigger than that. We are much bigger. The capacity of our hearts is much bigger. And we have so much more to give to the world. And we have so much more to accomplish. Let us rise above these petty things. Let us rise above these labels, guys. And let us become humans. And these two countries or three countries have so much potential. I mean, there is so much brain trust in these countries. There is such a huge population, such an huge emerging market. I mean, I'm a businessman. When I look at it, I cannot for the life of me imagine why isn't the whole subcontinent one common market like European Union is. What a fantastic thing that would be. I bet you open up those borders. You let the businessmen take care of it. You let them export goods freely from one side of the border to the other. Once they become economically dependent on each other, everything else will be forgotten.
How you stop terrorists?
Excuse me, sir?
Open border. Terrorists will go inside and kill everybody. What are you talking about?
Yes, I'm happy to talk about that. Yes,
You are
yes.
a practical man.
No, I'm not a practical man. Absolutely not. No, I'm a businessman.
What would you want?
I didn't get your last point. I didn't get your last point, sir.
I say, are you crazy that you want open borders between Pakistan and India?
For trade, yes.
What trade?
Yes.
What they're supplying? They are not supplying trade, they are supplying terrorists.
Okay, that's, I don't want to be regarded as carrying a chip on my shoulders here. Let's be very clear and very blunt about something. Terrorism in all of its forms, committed by anybody, is heinous, is deplorable, and should be condemned unequivocally, unapologetically by anybody. No matter what God they preach, what excuse they have for themselves, it doesn't matter. To take an innocent life without reason to take an innocent life, period, has no place in a human civilization. I grant you that. I'm absolutely with you in that. However, terrorism in all its forms has to be condemned. The guy who's blowing up that bomb or wearing that suicide vest is the lowest form of the terrorist. People who are the terrorists, the real terrorists are the ones who spread their terrorism through their mouth and their writings. That's where the real terrorism is. And I agree with you. We need to be together, every single one of us, to condemn them. And I will agree with you on one thing which has been a bone of contention with me. All Muslim organizations, all Muslim universities, all Muslim centers of learning should get together on one forum and condemn and claim that terrorism has no place, no justification, no rationale in this religion. It should be condemned. Absolutely. There is no doubt about that.
We have time for one more question.
Sure.
Then
Does anybody have a question for me?
over there, yeah.
Sir, really appreciate every word, heartfelt word you've said. You're a man of the common man. But, sir,
But there is a but coming. I knew that.
kick the butt. There is, unfortunately, a proselytizing movement in the world that does not regard every human being as equal in the eyes of the God, the Creator. There is a huge amount of money backing that. You as a businessman would understand that where money goes, there will be people following it. So, whereas you condemn terrorism, you condemn fundamentalism, so do I. There is a reality.
2 more minutes, sir. 2 more.
Have you any views on that?
Yes, I do. I'm not sure if I should be sharing them with this audience.
All right.
Okay. I will. And I will say, and I will open up. My views are that she has hit it on the head. Absolutely, you have hit it on the head. This whole BS, okay, it starts from what Marx said. Religion is the opium of the masses. And these power-hungry, money-hungry, grabbing people who sit at the altars like the old priests in religions of the other years, asking for the diet money and asking for the blood money, they have hijacked these religions. Shame on us that we let those religions get hijacked. Shame on us. Shame on the followers. But this, bottom line, this is nothing but a grab for power and a grab for money. There is no religion involved in it. Look, we talk about, this gentleman here put up a very good point, that a lot of Muslims are very embarrassed and ashamed that the Muslims are branded as terrorism, Islam is spreading terrorism, blah, blah, blah. If I was not a student of that faith, I would subscribe to that too, looking at what is going on in the world. But let me ask you a very simple question. Let us move the clock back 30 years ago or 40 years ago.
One way, all the people who have converted to Islam should go back to the roots, problem solved.
That would be, well, how much time do we have?
We have to wrap up, sir.
We have no time. I think we should have dinner together. I think we'll have a lovely dinner together. But I can.
Excuse me, sir. I do like your idea, which is, please, I waited for you to finish. I do, all of us here, we do appreciate what you're saying. But from your protected home, from my protected home, I can say that. But what about all the human trafficking that happened in Nepal? What about West Bengal? What about Kerala? What about all over India that's happening? Do you have an answer for that? I can say it. I am a meditator. I preach. I'm an ordained priest. I can talk exactly like you, and I do speak that language, and I do speak.
I hope you can do a lot better than me.
Oh, I do.
That's a very low bar.
I do. But at the same time, the person, the family that has lost its wife, that daughter, that child, I cannot talk that language. Because at that time, I cannot teach them meditation. All I can do is hug them and cry with them. Now
You know, give this lady a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have brought, who was it that said that let me tear down the curtains from the palace so I can cover the wounds of the humanity? Hugo, yes? This is a call for a revolution. We're not quite there yet. But we gotta do whatever we gotta do peacefully. And I really sincerely believe and urge all of you to take a moment and try to focus on what she just said. This will get fixed not through my speech or the speeches of the generals or the speeches of the politicians or anybody. It's going to be fixed by people like you. It's all going to start and end with you. Unless and until the common person, quote unquote, gets up and takes on the cause, nothing is going to change. And you don't have to go far. You only got to look back a little bit in your heritage. I will end with where I started. Mahatma Gandhi. What did he do? How did he do it? What an impact he had. Go back a little more in your history. Gautam Buddha. What did he do? How did he do it? And what an impact he had. We have the examples in front of us, guys. I wish I had more time with you, but I'm being dragged here. Thank you so very much. It was really a pleasure. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much for your interest. I'm gonna invite Mansi Sharma to introduce Dr. Swami. Just a little caveat. I sincerely do respect everyone's comments and opinions, and we will get them heard, but we do respect and expect you to please only speak when we give you the mic. I will be there, Danish will be giving the mic during Dr. Swami's talk, and we will try to provide everyone enough time, or whoever has a question, enough time to ask that, but please do not interrupt. Please be respectful. Thank you so much.